I have had chronic pain and autoimmune disease for over 20 years now. And this one perspective shift recently has completely uh, refueled me and given me hope for actually curing this thing and figuring out how to help my body and just get over this. So I wanted to share that today. It's been on my mind a lot recently, and that perspective shift really came after thinking about just all the surgeries and crap that I've had over the years, and how bizarre it was that, every single time I thought that that doctor or that surgery would be the thing, like that would be the fix. And, um, once I had the glaucoma surgery, I wouldn't have eye issues anymore. Once I had the second glaucoma surgery, then I wouldn't have eye issues anymore. Then, it was okay, once I get all the fluid removed and cleaned up around my retina, then I won't have eye pain anymore. And it led me down a really bad cycle of depending on the doctors, the medicine, and the surgery to cure my autoimmune or my chronic pain. And now I've come to believe that it's really not even possible for them to do, which sounds, not so hopeful. But the hopeful part is that I'm more than ever confident that uh, I have the power to do that. This mindset shift really happened when I started thinking about, an analogy to what was going on with my situation, and that was really like, getting a flat tire in a car. When I would flare up, a lot of times it would be my eye. It'd be just like getting a flat in a car, and I would take it to the auto shop, and they would look at it and they'd be like, "Yep, you're right. You got a flat tire. Let's go ahead and patch that up and get you home," right? And to me, that was going to the eye doctor and getting steroid eye drops, prednisone. Let's just patch that up and see, how it does for a little bit. And then that would go on for a little bit. I'd still have issues, and then if it needed to, it would go deeper, right? I'd take it, once you take your car back to the auto shop multiple times, they're like, "Hey, I still am getting punctures. This patch isn't working." Then they go, "Yeah, something deeper is going on here. Um, I don't know. You definitely have a problem with the tire, like, and it keeps happening. So let's just do something more permanent and structural. I think we just need to replace the tire. Something must be wrong with the tire." That part of the analogy for me is like surgery. Like, let's do something to more permanently physically alter what's going on and try to protect this thing. And then you get it, and at least what's happened for me is maybe that lasts for a while, but it comes back. And then the doctors are kind of at this point confused, and you're frustrated with them, right? And all they can possibly do is try to think about what else might be, causing it, but they're only looking at it from their perspective. And a lot of times what's funny is they don't even really ask the question of, like, where have you been driving? What kind of stuff are you, because what kind of stuff are you running over, right? Because they can't possibly know that. They can't hop in the car with you and see, oh yeah, you're getting all these flats because, you're hitting this pothole every day or whatever, right? And that's kind of the perspective shift for me. And what, to finish the analogy there, is what I realized is I was bringing my car into the shop with all these issues, and I'd be like, yeah, I don't know what's happening, like it just happens randomly. But what was really going on was I was taking my car out, my body out for a drive. I was living life. But every time I would come back home, I'd pull into a garage, and the floor of that garage was just full of nails. And I know that's a weird part of this analogy, but for me, what I've realized is that, man, my garage was full of nails, and my garage is my mind. And those nails are stress and fear and anger and resentment. And all those feelings have a chemical reaction in the body. And I really thought the mind body stuff was woo woo for a long time. But we all accept that stress causes ulcers. I think that's kind of funny, right? Like, that's just a common thing now that we don't think's woo-woo. But there you have a mental state a thought, creating a physical reaction, a negative one in the body that's verifiable and objectively there by somebody else, right? It's not in that person's head. Although, you could make the case that it originated there. So that's what I've come to believe is the chronic part of my disease and what a lot of other people are facing too. So that has given me the most hope recently, because for the longest time you're just kind of stumbling on the treadmill of doctors and waiting for them to figure it out. And then if you're like me, you get to a stage where you're upset with them, and in a way it's their fault. They just can't figure it out, or they're not doing enough for you. But it's impossible. It's just impossible for them to know what your life is like. I mean, I think if maybe in like a weird case in the future, some like super functional medicine doctor or whatever would hang out with you for like a week straight every day, all day, just kind of like seeing and getting a perspective. But that's impossible. You have like 30 minutes with this person. They gotta focus on, is there a hole in the tire? Yes, patch it. No? Okay, you're good to go. And that's how that system works, and thank goodness for it, because even though I had a bunch of nails in my garage that I was running over, it doesn't mean that you just go drive around with a flat tire until you fix the garage. You still got to operate. And so I've come to this kind of weird duality of, being for going to the doctor when needed, for taking the medicine, for doing this stuff, even though sometimes subconsciously I want to try to just get through it without any help. But at the same time, while I'm doing it, all that effort, all that pain, all the finances that go into those appointments and surgeries and all that stuff, it's not worth anything if you're not looking at your garage and if there are any nails in there. Or maybe you could even expand it. Like, it's not worth it if you're not looking at what street you drive on every day and if you're hitting the same pothole. So that's been my big mindset shift. And I hope that this helps anybody who's kind of experiencing a similar thing, because it's very easy to just blame Western medicine for not figuring this out yet. But this mind-body stuff is really incredible, and there's a lot of new stuff coming out about it all the time. I think if this resonated with you at all, I really recommend Dr. Sarno. Here's a Western trained medicine guy who worked at a prestigious NYU hospital, who changed his complete practice around this type of work and thought process, and had some pretty amazing results with people. And man, I read his book, The Divided Mind, and he talks about the similarities of his patients that he was seeing, not from a similarity of pain, but a similarity of mindset, of how they operated in the world. A lot of them were perfectionists, high performers, stressed out, anxious. I read through his description of that book, and I thought, this is insane. This is a description of me. And, another crazy thing is the more people I meet on this journey that have similar issues that I do, pretty much all tend to hit those same, I'd say, mindset traits or mind habits, because none of that's permanent. So that's just my latest thought process I wanted to get off my chest and share. I hope that resonated with somebody, and if it did, let me know. But I'm more, even though now I believe that doctors, medicine, surgery will never cure me, I'm actually more hopeful than ever that I will figure this out and be able to get past and end this chronic pain and autoimmune issue. So I hope you're feeling well, and that you dive into some of these resources if this stuff's interesting to you. And I'll make another video sometime soon. Later.